Hello Nikki, hello Transport Evolved, it's hump day. I've got crazy hair again because I've got crazy hair again because I only just got up. The last weekend, where did I go on my trip? I did a very easy trip. I went from my house here, which is kind of Gloucestershire way, and I went to Cardiff way. It was a nice 65 miles, one way, spent 3 days there. My car charged up. Didn't take 3 days, obviously. Pootled around Cardiff area and then came back. It was very nice. Stayed an extra day because the Sunday when we went to come back was insane with weather, like thunder and rain and hail. It was amazing, but not something I wanted to be driving in. Your trip did sound quite epic compared to mine. I forgive you for not going completely on electric power because even when the Volt isn't using the battery solely, it's operating as a hybrid, which is better than nothing. If you'd told me you'd done it in like a big honking 4x4, then maybe we'd have issues. A 4-corner Model S trip would be absolutely brilliant. We have to try and get Tesla to allow us to do that. That would be amazing. Not sure they will, but we have to try. Your question about range and price, it's an interesting one, and I think you may be oversimplifying it a little bit. It comes down to the base of it is what people need versus what people want. We know that most people, 95% of people, need a car like exists at the moment, an electric car that can go 70 miles. That will fit their needs. What they want, or what they perceive they need, is something completely different to that. And at the moment, climate change, the global economy, hasn't got to a point of dire problems enough where people start thinking about what they need as opposed to what they want. We are still in want mode. That will change eventually, I believe, and people will make decisions based upon what is actually needed rather than what they want. They will move closer to where they work. They will start growing their own vegetables because food prices will go up. Those kind of decisions will be made. And at that point, EVs like we've got at the moment will sell more. But where do we stand with all the manufacturers trying to double range? Yes, they probably should. Obviously, Tesla doesn't need to double their range, but Nissan, Mitsubishi, BMW, all of those companies do. How should they do it? It's a good question. I believe what they should do is they should double the range of the cars when they can sell that car for what the original price of their originally ranged car was. So if they originally sold the Nissan Leaf for $24,000, and it had a 70-mile range, they should only sell a 150-mile car when they can sell it for $24,000. That way, there will be a perceived, I'm paying more for the range because you'll be able to get a 70-mile Leaf for less than that, but it won't be more than the Leaf originally sold at, which will cause issues. If it comes into the market at 30, 35, more than the original Leaf cost, we're going to go back to the whole conversation about rich boys' toys. EVs don't make sense, they're too expensive, the batteries are too expensive. So I think the sensible thing for them to do is wait until they can double the range at the original asking price for the car, and then they can't be accused of stuffing it full of batteries and making them rich men toys. But there was loads of discussion on YouTube and on our site about this, and you got people really riled up and talking. Some people just wanted them to be cheap. Get them cheap and people will use them as second cars and third cars. Get them longer range and more people will buy them. And it was really interesting to see the split, and I don't think it's as simple as offering one or the other. And it comes back to multiple battery pack sizes. I really do think that's what the future lies in. What do I want to talk to you about? We've been talking about road trips, and I wonder, will EVs bring back the car road trip? I've never really been on a car road trip. My parents, when I was younger, didn't have a huge amount of money. Some petrol, even then, was quite expensive in the UK. When I got my car, petrol was prohibitively expensive. I could just about afford to go to the shop and back once a month and to work and back in my car. I never had this sense of freedom, which a lot of people talk about a car being linked to. It's a very American ideal because petrol is cheaper over there. This idea that you can get in a car and just go anywhere and go on an adventure. I've never experienced that, except for in my EV. I have that now. If I wanted to go on a trip 35 miles that way or 50 miles that way, as long as I knew there was charging, I could. And because its fuel is cheap. And I wonder if that's a big selling point we need to get people to push, is that EVs will bring back the idea of cars as freedom. I'm going to run away. Love to know what you think about EV road trips. I will see you tomorrow, Nikki. I shall see you tomorrow, Transport Evolved. Goodbye.